I'm not saying that. So the lies are, I don't want to say lies, but maybe wishful thinking has started before the show has started. Shit.
You just gonna call me a liar like that, dog?
I said wishful thinking. I don't know.
Call me a liar. That's crazy.
As Serda came to us right before the show, saying he's trying to go get a haircut, and basically Serda has let us know that, yeah, man, there's been moments of his life where he just walks in and just goes into places like Great Clips. And by the way, Great Clips, you can be a part of the Nightly Fix. Please, anyone out there listening, like and subscribe. You can be a part of this. Lady Jane's, all those other places. But my man's told us that, yeah, man, I'll go through, man, where I just walk into Great Clips and whoever's available with an open chair, I'll go get my haircut, which has been absolutely insane and foreign to me, because I've got like 5 people who have cut my hair in my whole life. Shout out to Dukes, shout out to Aunt Vern, shout out to Ari, shout out to Dan, and finally my man B right here over there by NRG who cuts my hair. I got 5 people who cut my hair my whole life. Shout out to Alfie. Alfie did get me a couple of times in college where it was, lineup Tuesdays, and I didn't have a way to get back. But
Alfie.
But well, it's good. Hey, let's all show our hairlines here. 1, 2, 3. And then Osita. And then Osita then up and goes in the midst of this story, because Osita, he agreed. He's not had you ain't never had that many people cut your hair either, right? You ain't never been in just let me just walk in and sit down. Like, not even just a Great Clips, Serda. I ain't never just walked into just any of the black barbershops that I go to and just sit down and just say, yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and just sit in whoever's chair opens up first to cut my hair. No, Jack. No, I got to have this. And then at this point, Serda, Osita then let us know that he had a full hairline during COVID.
I feel like a lot of people lost it in COVID.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you. It was a stressful time.
I was just shaving my head at home during COVID.
A lot of craziness happened, and stress rises cortisol. Cortisol makes you lose your hair. I know this. What's up?
But
biology major.
Count me if I'm wrong here, but it seemed like to me, Serda, that Osita was trying to make the claim that it was going fine and normal until he let somebody get a hold of his hair. And then that person wrecked his hairline, and now we have this. That's what it seemed like it came from. And it didn't seem like you were letting us know it was due to stress. It seems like it was due to that son of a bitch that you let cut your hair, and then he ruined it.
I feel like there was probably signs prior to COVID. there was probably signs that, like, you knew you had to bring it home at some point. But I have I've met people who just, they got rid of it all, and they said once or multiple times that they're like, I shaved my head once and it just stopped growing back right. And then that was the only way to do it moving forward.
All right,
I know there
was one. First of all, Serda, you didn't have my back for 2 weeks, man. You had my back for 2 weeks, dude. You've been my boy, and now you come and you let this man come in between us like this. And
he just spoke what he felt is truth.
Okay, no, it's cool. No, it's cool.
Well, hold on. Oh, see, before you continue.
No.
Were there not signs? Were there not signs? Were there some signs? Were there some? I got 8-9 months.
I'm gonna finish real quick. All right, I'm gonna finish real quick. Number two, it is possible to push back someone's hairline from a bad haircut. It happens all the time. We're acting like that doesn't happen.
No, fair.
And so I got a bad haircut. It started pushing my line up, push the line up too high. You know what I'm saying? Then the stress of COVID and the bad haircut. You know.
Or you
know?
Stressed about the haircut.
Well, hey.
I don't know. It's more stressful, the haircut of COVID, dude. I don't know.
Ain't nobody buying that shit, man. You just knew it was about time, man. It's about time. You look good, man.
Hey, calm down, man. Hey,
you look good. Honestly.
All I know is the ladies ain't mad at it. They're not mad.
No, they ain't. They're not.
You know
but just between us and the folks listening. But it ain't that many. But between us, what can you do right now? Like, what can you give us? Like, what can you grow your hair out to? Like, can you what can you do? Are you like pulling a back end where you're losing it back here also, or is it just are you having a
the back end is actually back end's actually all right.
So could you do a Stephen A. Smith?
Is it like a cul-de-sac, or is it like a cul-de-sac with an island?
I would say
he said he ain't got no island.
Cul-de-sac with an island, because I got a little something there. There's a little.
So if you can let it grow, you just have a deep ass hairline.
Yeah, it would take fucking ever.
It's like a round.
My hair grows real slow. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if it grows at all, it grows real slow. So I don't know. It would take a minute for me to get a George Jefferson. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to let you know, though, I am proud of you that you didn't.
For what?
Just that you didn't try to stay on.
I had no choice, man. I had no choice, Playboy.
Oh, my fault. That asshole pushed your hairline back.
It's killer. It's killer be killed out here, dog. It's you gotta. It's. I know. One thing for sure. Two things for certain. I'm not gonna walk out here looking like a fool. You know what I mean? Like I'm just gonna. You know what's crazy? What's really crazy is that when I was younger, right? I was at a Macy's with like my best friend, right? And I saw this like big old strong black dude, swole as hell, big ass arms, bald ass head, big ass beard, and he had a Freemason necklace on his neck, on his chain, right? And so like I went up to him and I was just like, I had just heard about Freemasons around that time, and I was like, "Hey man, are you a Freemason?" He goes, "Are you a traveling man?" I was like, "No sir, I'm not. I don't know what that means." And now I'm immediately a little scared. But I was always like, when I was younger, I was like, man, I can't wait to be a bald black dude. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm just gonna gain so much wisdom once I lose my hair. I feel like, oh man, it's like the next level of just like blackness is like being a bald black man. You know what I mean? And then it happened. I'm still as dumb as ever.
I'm about to say, who wishes that? Well, I can't wait to be a
bald black man.
Like Ron's been talking about losing his hairline for years.
LeBron? Oh, for sure.
No, Ron. Well, LeBron, it's gone.
Well, LeBron is gone. He's now just stubborn with it now. But I'm just saying that what you just said. There are some people. See, that's what I wouldn't want to be. Just don't even leave me with a choice. Like, there are some people where like, hey man, like, you know what? If I just kept it, if I just did this and maybe filled it in with a little black ice, I could have something going. Like I would rather
all that beiging that people are using now to keep their lines icy with the
and shit. I would rather just rip it from me. Like, don't even give me a chance to even try to put something together. Like I want it to be taken like LeBron's is, just ram, take me from from the middle, give me an island, take me from the front, like just take me. So like, hey,
Take
fool,
me, Lord.
hey, fool, like you said, Osita, you just gonna be out here looking like a fool if you try to piece this together. It's gonna take paint.
I was getting a tattoo one time, and this cat came up to me, and he was like, "Hey, man, you should really think about getting your hairline tatted." I was just like, "Excuse me?" He was just like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, you could keep that." He's like, "I see you kind of got like a taper fade thing going on." He was like, "If you just filled in," I was just like, "You're fucking crazy, sir."
Who recommends the Carlos Boozer?
Carlos Boozer's been on. He has been on TV all week with these turtlenecks, and I mean, like a couple of them look good on him, but I'm just like, damn, man, no, this is your thing, man. Jacket, turtleneck, like it is. I mean, it ain't. I mean, I'm not saying it's warm. Now, luckily, he's not in Texas, because if he was out here, he'd have been sweating bullets. But he has been rolling with this thing. All right, like and subscribe, please, if you're rolling with us. The Foolish Club Media and your YouTube, we appreciate that. This is one I want to kind of get a little serious. Not even serious, but I have a real ass conversation, which I enjoy the early stages of the Nightly Fix because we go and do that. Heat check coming up soon. But this Stephen A and LeBron thing is really heating up. And heating up in a way in which I have never seen a media person, I don't like this, a media person and an athlete like go back and forth like this. We've seen maybe one-sided, but I don't know that I don't know I've ever seen anything like this. LeBron, for some reason, did an hour sit down with Pat McAfee. And I know Shannon Sharp is somewhere like, what the hell? How the hell did I not get this? But Pat McAfee did an hour sit down with Pat McAfee. And, the thought is they said it was unfiltered LeBron James. And it was. He's cussing all up a storm and all that. But they addressed the Stephen A. Smith thing. We know the Stephen A. Smith thing a while back. He pretty much confronted Stephen A. Smith in the third quarter of a game between the Lakers and the Knicks and just let him have it over what he felt was disrespect towards him and disrespect in what he was doing and talking about. Felt like his conversation about Bronny, his son, and his family was a little personal. I think the big thing that came about it, he was on First Take and he went into a deal where and if you know Stephen A, like he's a performer, and he went into performing talking about LeBron, I'm begging of you, I'm pleading with you as a father, please stop this. To stop him from playing in the NBA or putting him in this, like pleading with you as a father. Like I know you two don't have kids. But I'll be damned if it's somebody who I ain't got a great relationship, which they don't, because I think a lot of players in the league and specifically him probably have issues with Stephen A over the years and how he is going about his stuff and said stuff. I don't know if you all remember that time where he verbally threatened Kevin Durant and told him, "You don't want to make an enemy out of me."
I remember that.
Jesus.
Like, yeah. So I just think players feel a certain kind of way about Stephen A to begin with. And so when it went to the son thing, like LeBron had enough. But since then, Stephen A has talked about it several times. He's talked about on his podcast 3 or 4 times. He talked about it on First Take. He went on Gilbert Arenas' podcast and talked about it. And he's talked a little bit harder every time. At first, it started off with that wasn't LeBron James, the basketball player, that was a father. Then it moved back and to him being a little bit harder. But LeBron was asked about it on Pat McAfee today. This is a little wordy, but I'll read. Hear ye, the reader, which is myself. LeBron, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith? LeBron said, He's on a Taylor Swift tour right now with how much he's talking about it. It started off with, I didn't want to address it, but since the video came out, I feel like I need to address it. And LeBron goes on to say, if there's one person who couldn't wait for that video to drop, it's you. He missed the whole point. Never would I ever allow someone say something that someone couldn't criticize players. It's their job. When you get personal with it, it's my job to protect my household and players. He's going to smile ear to ear when he heard me talking about him. He's going to grab ice cream out of his freezer in his tidy whities on the couch and be smiling. That is LeBron. Later, Stephen A. Smith, who I personally agreed with LeBron, was in celebration mode because I think I would too as well. LeBron James, this has nothing but positive for him as the performer. This means nothing but eyeballs. As soon as LeBron did that thing, how many eyeballs do you think was going to be on the Stephen A. Smith show today? I'm sure he was thrilled about it. That's why he won't stop talking about it. Stephen A. Smith then goes in and said, if that man would have put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately. So hold on, what the hell? That's what he said to LeBron. He said if he'd put his hands on me, I would have got my ass beat because I would have swung on him immediately. He said he's a liar, shady, two-faced, and passive-aggressive. That's why I don't like him, and he don't like me. Wow. So one, like the Stephen A. Like this is there's a couple of things. One, and I'll put it on a couple of spots. One with LeBron. LeBron has clearly reached this status, personally to him, the status of like 75 or 80-year-old people, where he is just, I don't give a damn anymore. I'm just going to say whatever I want to say, and I don't care anymore. LeBron, as you all know, has been, for the most part, very calculated, very understanding of what he says and when he says it and how that can be reacted to not put him in vulnerable situations. He does not appear to give a damn anymore. I don't know how healthy that is. Hell, you're just 40. You got a long way here. I don't know if that's the greatest decision to just come out and just not give a damn anymore, but he doesn't. He doesn't, and that's where he is. And then the Stephen A. Smith part is Stephen A. Smith truly believes that he is as big a star as anybody in sports. And I'm not saying he's entirely wrong on that. I bet you when you start racking up him against certain players, how many NBA players do you think are bigger stars than Stephen A. Smith? I bet it ain't. Maybe
20.
You think there are 20 NBA players that are bigger stars?
15.
Bigger stars than Stephen A. Smith, that we would go in and more people would know or be fans of him.
Yes. There's 15.
I think there's 10. And I bet you if we start rolling out 10, like that's a hard argument. I'm telling you, get past LeBron, Steph, KD, like that, like you're gonna fight to get 7 more that are bigger stars than that dude that's on television every single day, that is on all day long, that is crossed over. He is on soap operas. He's got a role on, I think, what is that, Young and the Restless? He's got a role on that. Like, I just think he's a bigger star. But one, we've not really seen that many broadcasters or pundits like this become that. And the other thing is, see, now he's getting paid like it too. Like it's not just that he feels or believes he's a star. Now he is getting paid. My man, just from the ESPN deal, signed a 5-year deal for $100 million. That's not to say all of the other stuff. like the money he's getting from his Stephen A. Smith podcast and digital stuff, the money he gets from other things like the soap operas, the endorsements. He is making more money than a lot of the athletes that he covers. Right. And so when you mix that, you can't tell Stephen A. Smith shit either. So you have somebody like think this through. Who would ever, as a broadcaster who has to cover these guys and at moments be viewed as fair, or whatever, impartial, like that, impartial, and come out and say, I don't like him? But Stephen A. can, because he feels like there is no fault like that. That is the case. I think that's a part of where this thing is clashing right now.
And I mean, LeBron in the same interview also kind of took a shot at Brian Windhorst on Pat McAfee today.
Yeah, he said he saw Brian Windhorst at one point say that they were best friends or something. And he was like,
which he has said that. He has said, like, I've covered LeBron James since high school. I know him like I know him like personally, and like has tried to make it out like he is the number one LeBron reporter in the world.
And that's why LeBron said that shit's fucking weird, is what LeBron said.
But I mean, but this isn't shocking from Stephen A. This is exactly what Skip does. It's good for Stephen A's brand. It's good for the highest paid person at ESPN to be having public feuds with LeBron James. It only makes Stephen A even bigger. And it's the same thing that Skip has done for years. It's, yes, say things that are outrageous and outlandish and get the athletes to respond to them, because that only improves my brand. That only makes me bigger and larger in the landscape of sports. And like, while like Stephen A, yeah, probably the most famous person in sports media right now. Like, I still think that there's lots of NBA players who have a bigger footprint than Stephen A, but Stephen A still operates under the guideline that no publicity is bad publicity. So he's going to milk this as long as he can. The only way this is going to stop is if LeBron just stops talking about it. He's right into exactly what Stephen A wants.
I'll be honest with you. LeBron walked up on him, and you could say LeBron kicked it off. Like, he walked up on him in the middle of the game.
Stephen A was like, yes. Been waiting years for this.
But this is the difference, Osita and Serda, is you bring up Skip. LeBron never addressed Skip. Like, it was one-sided. Like,
but at one time, Stephen A was actually like a respected NBA journalist.
And so was Skip. But we don't have a lot of like examples of the player going back. Like, we may probably know they don't feel a certain way about him, but we don't have a lot of examples of the player. LeBron is going back, and then Stephen A is responding, and then he's going back, and then he's responding, and they ain't doing it behind closed doors. They're doing this out straight up for everybody to see. That is the difference right now. Is LeBron is like, whoever is the started it is, hell, we go low, I'm willing to get into the basement with you, and I want to go down there with you as well. That's the difference.
I think this just kind of goes to show how much this whole Kendrick and Drake beef, because this is what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the Kendrick Drake thing, because I feel like
that's not a
Kendrick.
Bad,
Kendrick could have just not said anything, but he was just like, nah, I'm just definitely going to go there. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to go there. Or maybe it's something to be said for the fact that beef was so public. Like, LeBron feels like he has a key in his back. Like, he's like, oh, that man was talking. He's been talking shit about me. I got to say something. You know what I mean? Maybe he's just kind of feeling spicy like that right now. But
I do think, Osita, the family portion of it. Like, I'm gonna tell you what right now. As you said, that dude has been talking. You can see over the last 20 years that there have been moments that LeBron James has probably felt some kind of way about a way that Stephen A. Smith has talked about.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Stephen A. came out today and said, I don't like him and he doesn't like me. Stephen A. Smith has a relationship with the guys that are closest to him, Maverick Carter and all that. So this ain't a surprise. They know how they feel about each other.
Yeah.
The part, like they get this. But the part here is when he started in and somebody's saying some stuff like that I'm not good with, and then you come out on TV and you want to do your performance, and then you want to put me in your performance to do this number. Hey, I'm pleading with you. I'm pleading with you as a father. Stop this. The way that I would take that, and I think the way LeBron took it, especially coming from somebody that I don't really mess with like that. You're questioning my parenting. You're questioning my decisions as a father. You're trying to tell me how to be a father, and I will be damned if somebody that I don't give a rip about is going to come out here on national TV in a performance to act like I'm putting my kid in a bad situation. Shout out to Bronny, who had 39 the other night in the G League, and 17 the other night as well. Shout out to Bronny. But that crossed the line for LeBron. I honestly think if he had a better relationship with Stephen A. Osita, and I'll let you get in, I think he would have pulled him behind closed doors and said, yo, man, like that wasn't cool. But it was in his mind, as soon as I see him, and I don't care where we are, I'm going to address this because he don't give a damn about it.
I agree. I mean, and again, I'll take it to somewhere that I can understand the whole Kendrick-Drake beef again. Sorry, guys. But it didn't really get serious until, Drake made the song where he was like, hey, I think he was talking about saying that that Kendrick's kids weren't actually his kids or something like that.
Family matters.
Kendrick's kids belong to someone else. And that's when Kendrick kind of went off. You know what I mean? But I will say this. At the same time,
Family Matters. That Family Matters led into Meet the Grahams, and then it really got.
I do want to pat Stephen A. on the back a little bit, just a little bit, because I feel like nepotism in any business needs to be called out. I'm sorry, nepotism in any business, you got it because your dad got you the job. I despise that shit. You know what I mean? Do you think that Bronny was good enough to actually get himself on the team if his father wasn't there?
Where he was drafted in the 50s, clearly he is showing that right now he is showing he is as good as anybody that was selected around him. Right? He has the most points of anybody that was selected in the second round, and he was selected in the back end. But no, coming off of the heart surgery that he had and his first year's play, I do think obviously the LeBron factor had a major part of him being drafted. I do think that. But
now I'll also play devil's advocate for this because I do have to say, Stephen A., I don't like the whole Kendrick Perkins thing. I don't like when people talk tough when they're not really about that life. I don't care if you're playing around or you think that's going to get you a lot of views or whatever. Saying that, I would put hands on that man, that is a 40-year-old man who's not in his prime, but I saw a video of him literally running wind sprints the other day and dunking full court. You know what I mean? LeBron would literally pound him into the ground. So how are you going to sit there and say, I would put hands on him? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy talk to me.
I think Stephen A. in his mind believes he would do that. I don't think he would.
That's just because he knows that'll never happen.
I think
can't happen. That's why he talks that spicy.
Yeah,
but you don't talk that spicy when you think that somebody's actually going to punch you in the mouth.
There's no way LeBron would ever do it. There's no way LeBron's people would allow it to happen.
I think that's how players are viewing is Stephen A. has now started to view himself not in the lane that many broadcasters view themselves. He has started to view himself in a different spot. Look, I want to get a little deeper on this thing because this is where I think this thing is coming from. Because I think LeBron's reaction and the reaction of others around, if you've heard other players, X or whatever, they have been on like the LeBron end of it. Man, don't come at me like this. Don't come at me like this. And I think a big part of it is Stephen A here recently, in like the last year plus, he has made a turn that is, I'll just say it like this, and he won't want to hear this at all because he has beef with this person even more than, like, you think he has talked tough stuff to LeBron. It has been way more than this. This is what it was like at the beginning when Jason Whitlock started to veer into the space that he's in. And I think a lot of players have had issues with Stephen A and stuff that he said before, but I think many of it was like, hey man, he's just doing his job. He's being critical. Do you know, like, Stephen A has really like started to dip deeper into like the political space now, where a lot of his show is about politics. He's interviewing political leaders and people involved in politics. He's going on a lot. You know where he goes on a lot? Fox News. You know who he's on a lot with? Sean Hannity, Chris Cormo. They're going to do a thing together. And these are guys that lean towards Trump. He has also been doing that and then made the state he has said he's a Democrat, but he's basically come off as I'm a Democrat, but I'm just going to do talking points of the right. And he has been very critical of the Democratic Party. And then he came out and did I regret voting for Kamala Harris. And I wish I voted another. This is the route he has been going. And I think a lot of people in the league and a lot of people have sat, like black folks especially, and we know that league is like 75% black. I think he has really rubbed people the wrong way in going in this. And now I don't think players anymore will just view it as like, all right, man, Stephen A doing his gig. No, I think they think Stephen A is a sucker. And I think they think he is a real, like, almost like, they don't want, I don't think it's fair to say it because I take this very serious. When people say it, I think they feel like there's a little uncle in there.
Ooh, I knew you were gonna say that.
And I ain't gonna say, but you know the name that comes behind it. And I think the route that he has been going, because he's on the deal of like, hey, I don't think anybody should do it. Like, he came on First Take the other day talking about, I don't think anybody should do any name calling to Trump and all this and that. Like, hold on, Doug. Man, he calls a senator Pocahontas. Like, I mean, like, we know what he does. I just think that stuff, and we know those players are very, very into the political space, especially stuff like that. I think people are starting to view Stephen A not just like he's making a turn.
He went from unk to uncle.
Yeah, he's making a turn, and I think, honest to God, I think that's why cats have been, they're treating him differently.
Yeah, but I don't think any of that would be surprising. He's rich. Like, he's rich, and he's made a career off of dealing with rich white people and navigating that career landscape at ESPN, which I think inevitably rubs off onto people when they finally hit it big and make enough money. But
there are hold on. There are a lot of black people. First off, LeBron James is rich and made a lot of money off the backs of white
understand
people.
that.
People at ESPN
happen to other people. Jason Whitlock, the guy that you named, prime example. He was just bad at it. Stephen A is a businessman first and foremost. I think that Stephen A is the type of businessman that he will side with whatever he thinks is profitable for him. I don't think that he cares either way. And I've met a lot of people
that's
like
Whitlock.
that in my
But that's Whitlock.
Whitlock got himself there, and now Whitlock, I think, is just a scumbag, and like I think he actually tries to like believe in some of that stuff, but it's because it's also the only outlet that he has left to try to get paid for literally anything because nobody gives a shit what he has to say. But Stephen A is just that kind of guy. I've met plenty of people like that in my sports media career. He's gonna say or do whatever is in front of him and whatever it leads to dollars. Like that is exactly who Stephen A is. And I've never been misguided about that. I've always thought that that's who Stephen A is.
So Osita, if that is the case, although I don't think I am as strong in that feeling from Serda, I don't know that I'm that strong in it. But if that is the case, Osita, can you see now why the players and black folks in those circles are viewing him a bit differently?
I could definitely see why the tide has changed against his favor because of, you know, how he speaks. But like Stephen said, I kind of, and I don't know much about Stephen A. I haven't really, I mean, I've seen him on ESPN a few times and stuff like that. He's always kind of given me that vibe, though. He's always given me that vibe. He's always given me the sleazy pastor, you know, sleazy lawyer, fucking just two-faced kind of vibe, dude. It's never really been, I've never thought he was like an upstanding dude who was down for the cause. I never saw him like that.
Yeah, I think he's had moments like that, but he's definitely not rolled to the, hey, man, I'm going to appear on Sean Hannity's show, you know, 15 times this year. Right. And then like, you know, it has not been like that. Like
it's probably because he just never had those opportunities, though. He didn't have those opportunities till this year, but that's probably always been there. That's probably always been in his heart.
You know, he's rolling with this thing, talking about he's going to run for the throwing it out like he's going to run for the Democratic Party, like and to be a candidate for the Democratic Party. but you're not doing it. He is being like these. Yeah, I'm a Dem, but I am. But everything you hear me say is negative towards Democrats, and you keep hearing me saying it while I'm talking to people on the left. Like it just it is I mean people on the right, excuse me. It is, and I just think people are like, hey, I always knew he was a sucker, but look at his ass now. And like, nah, exactly. Man.
That's what I was gonna say. I bet you if anything, like I'm sure there's only so many people that play in the NBA. I'm sure people talk. You know what I mean? I'm sure within the NBA, people have been like, yo, hey, this Stephen A. Smith guy, don't let him get under your skin. He's going to talk that talk, but he's really not about that. He's really not that guy. Once the camera's turned off, he's a completely different guy. He's a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. They probably know that about him, and they've probably been saying it.
Yeah. No, it is clear. Like, it is clear to me all of that stuff has, like, I won't try this. Listen, Stephen A., as a black man that's in broadcasting, I plead with you. I plead with you, Stephen A. As a black man in broadcasting, you up here trying to be nice with Trump, being on with Sean Hannity, Chris Cuomo, all of these cats. I plead with you. Stop this, man.
Be the unk we need.
Stop this, man.
Oh,
all right. I know you just lose your mind every time that just calm
It's
down.
so good, dude.
Okay.
Look, hey, for future reference, if I ever die before y'all, play the ending song to SNL. I want the closing theme song at my funeral. I want that song. I
the
swear
close
to God.
that right there with the horns and stuff.
Swear to God, yeah, with the saxophone solo and everything.
Yeah.
I want that at my funeral.
You want to do is that a bucket list to be able to be on there, do the waving and
I would
all
love
that?
to be on SNL.
Oh,
I just want to be in the room.
Just
Let
in
me
the
be
room.
in the room.
Well, who knows, man? You know, hey, never know what happens. I do want
Never
to. I do want to get to a Russell Wilson thought because I feel like he's been very disrespected, and I feel like Serda is going to be one that does it. And that's okay.
Last 3 seasons of his career.
All right. Well, okay. But I don't. I before we go there, we do it every night. I want to hear before we get into that. The heat check. Let's get Osita's heat check.
Well, guys, for tonight's heat check, I wanted to talk about something that we probably all deal with being in the business world, just having a job in general. Shitty emails. I don't understand email language, man. Like I just want to loop you in. As per my last email, thanks in advance. Not sure if you saw my last email. I don't get it. Like, when did email language become like passive aggressive white woman Karen talk? Like, I don't.
He's so right.
It's awful, isn't it? Is it not so wrong? Like, it's just like,
it's miserable.
Is any update on this? Just checking in. Like, it's just like, dude, just say what the fuck you mean. Like, hey, you haven't done what I need you to do yet. Where the fuck is it at? Where is it at? Thanks in advance. Thank you for your time and consideration. What kind of world? No one talks like that in real life. And if you talk to me like that in real life, I would look at you like you're fucking crazy.
It's one of the things in my life that I have really, and I got to give my wife credit on this. She would call me out on it, but it's just people trying to make themselves sound more professional in that setting. But like, one of the things I've learned is just talk how you normally talk. Like, now, not slang, but just talk how you normally talk, right? And that's what I do. You know what my problem is with the company emails?
What's up?
I hate that I do this, and maybe I'm moving fast and I'm not looking. I am the reply all guy.
Ooh, you're the reply all guy? You're the reply all guy?
That tracks. You're not very good with electronics.
It's not that I'm not. First off, hold on, sit back, just a
tad. You're that guy.
Like, it's not. No, I just sometimes I forget the reply one, and I just hit the reply all, and I'll just say what I need to say. Like, now, none of them ain't never been like cross the line stuff, but I know I piss people off because everybody receives it, and it's just.
So okay, little bit of inside baseball. At Odyssey, there was an email chain. Someone accidentally emailed like all the promotions people inside of Odyssey inside the United States, and everyone started freaking out because they were like, I'm not supposed to be part of this. I'm not supposed to be in this. I'm not supposed to be in this. And so people started replying saying, hey, don't reply all, like, stop replying. But it just made it so much worse. And so by the end of it, there was like 1,000 emails of people just like being like, I'm not supposed to be in this. I'm not supposed to be in this. I'm not supposed to be in this. And like, even check, I got an email last weekend about something from the office, and she said specifically, do not reply all, just reply to me. I accidentally reply all. Before I even realized what's happening, I get 5 or 6 text messages. I get text messages from Reggie, Bree, Alex, Will, all these people being like, hey man, you're not supposed, hey man, read the message. Fucking Matt hits me up. Everybody's like texting me like, hey man, you replied. Oh, okay, my bad, guys. I'm sorry. Accidents happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does happen. I am an expert at email talk, though. Like, I can write a mean email. I despise it, and I think it's stupid. It's totally.
What are you talking about? You can write.
I have really, really navigated the email world. Like, I have really done a tremendous job of navigating that, because throughout my sports media career, I came from a background of working in bars and kitchens and stuff.
Pause. That sounds like an objective at the beginning of a resume. Number one, I just want to let you know that that's exactly how that sounds. like you're writing your CV right now, the very first page.
I had to coming into this white person world of
speak on it,
being in an office building and having this corporate culture and world. these fake personalities that this different way that you speak in the office to each other and try to be professional and whatever. I had to learn that early in my career. It was a real problem because I would just say shit to people and they'd be like, whoa, what's going on here? And it was impressive.
I think it is.
That's where I came from. I was like, that's how you talk to people. It's fine.
And see, I think
that and over years to the point where now I got it down. I'm a pro at it.
I think it is. I think it in a weird way. And many of our listeners share this. I think it is harder for white folks, and even though you are just half white, but I think it is harder for white folks to have to deal with it because I'm not going to speak for you, Osita, but I will speak for me and a lot of the black people that I've grown up around or been around. Man, I've been code switching since I can remember. I have had to code switch, had to do so I could just it is just normal for me. For white folks who ain't never had to code switch and have to get into my code switch could easily become corporate talk and email and conversation. I've tried to fight from doing it now. Now I just feel like we have reached a time where it is not as needed to code switch, and I try to make myself not do it. But I've been code switching so much since I was younger that's been taught about. It was seamless at times for me when I had to be in it.
See, the thing is, code switching serves a purpose. If I'm trying to say something and I feel like you might not understand it, I'm going to speak in a manner that will convey my exact meaning to the specific person, right? Email speak does not. It's just this highly, I don't even want to call it elevated form of language, but it's just this. There's so many different little sayings in email speak that I guess are supposed to seem less aggressive, but they come off as very passive aggressive when they're being used. And I kind of get why they would use it, why you would say as per my last email is because I already sent you the fucking thing. But what you really mean to say is, hey, the thing that I sent you already, you know, this is what we talked about last time. Why don't you just say this is what we talked about last time instead of as per my last email? Who talks that?
It's all a form of being professional.
Do you guys use Slack? This is also
I have before. Yeah.
This is also how Slack is. And in my last job, we exclusively use Slack for everything. And we emailed and stuff too, but Slack was how you communicated with everybody. And so email language just translated to Slack. That was just how we typed messages to everyone because you were trying to sound professional and you're in the work and this is a corporate structure and you're trying to, you're not trying to come off as oh, you're angry or emotional or whatever. And it sucks. It's a terrible way to deal with people. I think we should be able hey dude, get your shit together and give me whatever the fuck I'm waiting on.
Yeah, because that boss is going to tell if you're really messing up, but if you're really fucking up, a boss is going to come up to you. I mean, a lot of bosses will come up to you and be like, hey, look, real talk, you are not doing well right now. I need you to get your shit together and get it done. How many times have you had a manager or something like that will low key come up to you and just be like, hey, look, all cool shit, all responsible shit, all corporate shit out the window. This is what I need done right now from you. You know what I mean?
But also a lot of those emails can also be things used back as evidence or
as proof. Yeah, very true.
So that is why. So I still speak how I would speak now. I won't say, "Hey man, why don't you just shut the fuck up and give me what the hell I'm looking for? The way Serda just came through.
That's
aggressive. I might
that's
what I thought. I thought it was a little aggressive how Serda just said that, but I just say what I want to fucking do and you just do it for me. No, it may be like, hey man, we need to pick this thing up. Hey, Serda, like we gotta get here at a certain time. We gotta do such we gotta pick this up. I will send an email like that. But because I still believe if that's read, there is nothing that's gonna come out of that. But it's just all a form of being professionalism and saving your ass. Like I think covering your ass of just in case with these emails. I do want to get this out before we ride out of here. And that is, I talked about the Russell Wilson thing. And I think there is a level of, I don't even know if disrespect is the right word to use, but I am surprised though that he is viewed the way he is viewed. And this is what I mean. I don't think Russ right now today is a great quarterback. I don't think Russ today
hasn't been for 3 years.
I don't think Russ today is a franchise quarterback. I don't think that at all.
Absolutely not.
But when you look at the teams that have decided to go with, in some manner, a bridge quarterback, and we do that, there's 5-6 teams a year that do that, right? Like I think the Browns fit into that. We'll see if they draft a quarterback, but right now they got Ken Pickett. Obviously the Steelers are fitting into that. They're going to go get Aaron Rodgers, it looks like. The Raiders did this with Geno Smith. The Saints potentially are doing it with Derek Carr. Like there's certain teams that are the Jets, hell, with Fields. Maybe there's a little youth to Fields and you think that. I don't know. But Russell Wilson, in the last 2 years, has thrown 42 touchdown passes to 13 interceptions. Go look up Aaron Rodgers, who people appear to have clearly in a different level and tier to Russ. It ain't been like that. And Russ is going to be in his 4th straight offense. He had numbnuts Nathaniel Hackett that he had to be forced to work with. Then he had Sean Payton, a guy who was openly trying, I believe, to make him look bad. I believe, but at times, I wouldn't be surprised if you told me he called plays that made Russ look foolish. You had a guy that didn't believe in him and didn't like him, and he still was like 26 and 5 or whatever with interceptions. Last year, like he changed, that offense changed from when Fields was in there and got a lot better when he got in there. 14-13 as a starter the last 2 years, and they went to the playoffs. Now, he has had his struggles. He's 36. He's not the same as when he was prime Russ. But as you hear Osita, you hear what Serda has said repeatedly. 42 touchdown passes and 13 interceptions is not a bad quarterback. A quarterback over 500 in 2 years is not a bad quarterback, right? Like he should be, in my opinion, viewed as much or as highly viewed as the Aaron Rodgers right now, the Kenny Pickett's, the Derek Carrs, all of these guys that have gotten jobs. But I honestly believe it is because he's a backup, but right now he's thought of it. They're looking at him as a starter in Cleveland. They had a chance to get Russ. They're like, no, we'll get Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying, Serda, this dude, his numbers and his resume, even the last 2 or 3 years, 2 years especially, don't read off to what you, Steve, and others are making him out to be.
All right.
I just say it, man.
Okay, Russell Wilson's problem has always been, and going back to Seattle, prime Russell Wilson, before he had lost his athleticism, which
he takes a lot of sacks.
But when he was still athletic and he could scramble and he could run a little bit, like you got away with it a little bit in Seattle. But Seattle, come to find out, was always tailoring the offense to Russell Wilson because of his serious limitations as a passer and as a quarterback, and his ability to read defenses and his ability to move within the pocket and actually play quarterback at a high level.
Real quick. No. Real quick before you move on, Serda. What did that tailoring the offense around him lead them to? I'm waiting. What did that tailoring of the
Super Bowl because they had one of the greatest defenses ever constructed. Not because Russell Wilson was fine. Russell Wilson was fine. They won that. They went to back-to-back Super Bowls because they had one of the greatest defenses that we've ever seen.
Stephen, Mark, Serda. Yes, the defense was really, really good. He played another 8 years as a starter there afterwards, and he was one of the best quarterbacks in football.
Decided to build around him instead of the defense, but that was smart at the time because defense doesn't last. We all know that. Defense year to year tends to crater way faster than offense.
Serda, the thing I'm just trying to get you to say, is, was he, now we have let a sports conversation break out here. Was he an elite quarterback in his years in Seattle?
He had maybe like 2 years.
No, just answer the damn question. Shut up, Steve.
Get out of here, Steve. And he was like Dak Prescott tier. Like he was truly elite. He never broke straight into the top 5 category or something like that. He was fine.
He was never. Hold on, Steve. You're going to sit here and say he was never a top. He was never a top 5 quarterback.
Listen, I'll give him the Nathaniel Hackett year.
Fuck off, Steve.
Give him the Sean Payton year. Sean Payton, we saw what he did with Bo Nix last year. Russell Wilson wasn't capable of doing what Sean Payton wanted in that offense, so it was never going to work. Last year in Pittsburgh, little bit better. But he's in a much simpler offense with Arthur Smith as his offensive coordinator, which Arthur Smith wanted the Pittsburgh Steelers, biggest just floundering franchise in the NFL right now, just obsessed with mediocrity year after year.
Are you attempting to help my point? I mean, because you're doing a great job.
Fine, but then as soon as everybody figured out the offense, it was over. And that's why the back half of the season, they were absolute garbage because everybody was just like, take away the deep ball. He's got no legs anymore. And their offensive line sucks and they can't run the ball. Okay, offense over. Pittsburgh Steelers suck. Like, he's a very limited quarterback. Like, he's a one-trick pony at this point in his career.
Serda, you just literally just said, first off, I don't know why you're doing this. You know he was a top 5 quarterback for multiple years. Russell Wilson didn't have an offensive line to stand on in Seattle, and they were winning 10 games a year. He stop this. All right. Like, let's calm the hell down. Second, you just literally said, so how would you describe Nathaniel Hackett as a head coach?
He's literally the worst head coach we've ever seen outside.
Okay, so he was given the worst head coach we've ever seen. Then the next year, how do you think Sean Payton felt about Russell Wilson?
He despised him.
Okay, so then the next year.
But that was the thing in Seattle, too. Like, his limitations are real. Exaggerated.
Hold on. Do you think Sean Payton despised his limitations, or do you think Sean Payton despised Russell Wilson?
I think a little bit of both. I think
there's more than a little bit of both.
Payton's a very good guy, honestly. I think Sean.
No, he would embarrass him on national TV by going off on him. And as you said, Sean Payton is an offensive genius when he wants to be. He decided with Russ to continue to put him in positions to do things that aren't his strength. Yet he still had 25 touchdowns and 5 interceptions with him. Then the next year, you just said Arthur Smith is not a good offensive coach either. That they had a bad offensive line and not a run game. Yet he still got those assholes to the playoffs. And their offense changed. Again, I'm not saying he's great, but do you think it's a little insane how different of a level people view him from guys like Aaron Rodgers? Go put up what Aaron Rodgers has done the last 3 years.
He should be in the same tier as Aaron Rodgers at this point.
He should like I think there is an argument. If you are looking for a bridge quarterback, he may be the best candidate to be a bridge quarterback. I don't care what you say.
I would take Sam Darnold over Russell Wilson.
But I don't think Sam's a bridge. So I think Sam's 27. I don't think Seattle is going to go draft a quarterback to replace Sam. Like, I don't think they're just looking at this for 2 or 3 years. It is just wild to me. I don't care what you say. Osita may not be the biggest football fan ever. If I told you a guy over 2 seasons threw 42 touchdown passes, not to mention he ran another 7 in, threw 42 touchdown passes and had 13 interceptions over 2 seasons with, as Serda, the expert, just told you, subpar coaching, and at least a guy who just refused to have him look good in a good light. And they've been above 500 as a starter, and he went to the playoffs. Like, what are we talking about here? Now he's got to compete with Jameis to be the starter. I just, honest to God, I think it becomes because he is corny as hell, and I think, and I think people believe that he is disingenuous and he's fake, but he's not. He's just a cornball. He is just corny as hell, and that's how he is. And I think it also comes from a jealousy all the way back from when he was in Seattle. Is how in the hell does he have her? And I think there are dudes, there are cats within it.
Big facts.
I honest to God believe the guy like Richard Sherman and them cats in Seattle. How the hell did that cornball? She was with Future. How the hell did he pull her off? And she's not going anywhere.
He was the perfect overcorrection, honestly. From Future to him, like, that's probably what she needed at the time, to be honest.
And she's hung with it. Hey, and he's been he's been a pretty good dad to Future's kid.
I also feel like I just like doubled down on it harder because it's the second night in a row we've talked about Russell Wilson for some reason.
But I have gone through and I think a lot of people will believe what Serda had just said. He's just been awful for the last 3 years. The numbers don't bear that out. Not awful. He's not been like, dude, how many interceptions did Mahomes throw last year?
17. I don't actually know.
I don't think it's 17. It's like 12 or 13, right? Like Russell threw in 2 seasons.
11.
Russell in 2 seasons threw almost the same amount of interceptions as the best in the world in Patrick Mahomes. I bet Patrick Mahomes has doubled the interceptions. I'm not saying he is.
He threw 14 the season before.
He threw 14 the season before. Right? Like, I bet you the touchdowns, I bet you Russ and Mahomes' touchdown passes over the last 2 years are a lot closer than people think. And Russ is not turning the ball over, which is something people complain about. He's not turning the ball over even at the rate that he is, that Mahomes is. So I just like the numbers. I think people just think he is such 42 and 13 in 2 years. Like, it's got to be for something. Now he's in his 4th offense. I don't know why that cornball. I got a special place in my heart for Russ, but I just think he is. I think people have gotten jealous because he has gotten Sierra, and I think they treat him like an ass. And I just think he has gotten a bad rap. Now, he's done a couple of things. I don't know why he needed 2 lockers and an office in Denver. But, I mean, he gave that up. But I feel bad for Russ because people act like he's Alex Rodriguez and he's that level of fake. I don't think he is. I just think he's corny. Like, I legit think he thinks a nickname Danger Russ is cool. Like, I do. I think he believes catchphrases for each team he played for and saying it at the end of his press conferences is cool. I'm sorry. I feel bad for the man. And
Dangerous.
people like it.
It is
Dangerous.
Yes, and people
You can't give yourself nicknames, man. That's just not how that shit works. I'm sorry.
I mean, whatever.
Joe. My bad, show.
Well, I didn't give myself a nickname, but I bet my show goes all the way to MySpace. But I just bet people around the league watch and just watch him walk across the field and say, how the hell did he pull goodies? How did he pull Sierra? Bring us home.
Well, first and foremost, guys, I want to give y'all just a quick round of applause. Guys, please like and subscribe if you like hearing stuff like this. It was really, really fun for me to sit here and watch my two brothers in their sports bag, and really just talk like I know they know how to. That was amazing. Honestly, I thank you. I'm new to this shit, and these guys have been doing it for quite some time, and I'm definitely learning. This is fun. So, speaking of stories about a man trying to get with a woman that he definitely had no business being with. So I see this redhead, right?